Hi there, Eric here. Haven't had any update recently for my 2017 XC90. I've got a bit of a small project that I wanted to do and want to give it a try. And first thing first is when I look at my rear boot, I've got a crack in on the boot lid seals. So first I got a replacement, so I'm going to replace that. Second part is very often I'll use my car to transport my son's bicycle, and this is actually recently got repainted, but it used to be have a lot of scratches. Sorry, excuse, I haven't washed the car for a while. So my eldest son had crashed a bump onto the neighbor's fence. This got repainted by the panel beater, so I'm going to stick on some protection strips on the top so it doesn't scratch the bumper when we have to move the bike in and out. So we're going to do that. And the other part that I have been researching is what can I do to improve the audio system a little bit. I don't want to spend a lot of money, and also this is impossible to actually upgrade a standard audio systems in XC90 to say a BMW audio system, because the wiring and the amps and everything is different. Well, it is possible, but it's just going to be too difficult and costly. Might as well just change the car. So I do want to give it a try to add a subwoofer, because my car does not come with did not come with a subwoofer, and the original subwoofer was housed inside on the right hand side, according to my understanding. And I've been searching online and looking at the prices, and it's reasonably okay. You might get one for $200-300. But it just happened that I have a couple of old home subwoofers, 8 inches, that I don't use anymore, and they were old and they don't really worth any money. So my plan is I want to take out the woofer units and to somehow fit it and use the original amp to drive it. And we'll go through the process, because my car did not come with the subwoofer, and so the front panel actually did not have the settings for subwoofers. But now I can use the Orbit software, because I bought it for a year, and I can use that to configure the system. So my current idea is, we'll see if it works, is I have bought a spare what do you call it, the floor panels for the boot, and my plan is to bolt on the subwoofers and replace the floor panel, put the subwoofer there, and then hook up the woofer to the original wiring, because my understanding is there is already wiring inside there. So I think I've got some plugs here. I've got some plugs here that we'll see. I don't know if it fits or not, but I hope that it does. So I can actually don't need to cut any wires, and so all I need to do is to build another wire, plug it into the original outlet, and then hook it up to the subwoofer here. And on the other hand, while I was searching online, I found somebody in China again is selling a center speaker unit for the front, and come with a wiring. It is very cheap. I think I got it for $80, something like that, or probably less, or $50, I can't remember. I was told that it should just plug and play and work. We'll find out. And the last bit is, while I'm going through all the steps of taking things off here, and I was thinking maybe I should replace the VCM battery. So when I was researching, I think it was somewhere around the top of the very back pillar here. I mean, the car is like 7 years old, so sooner or later I think that battery will need to be replaced. And my understanding is if this fails, the car will complain that it cannot do any service call, it cannot communicate to the outside world, whatever. But nevertheless, I think while I am stripping things off here, I might as well just replace the battery at the same time. Cool. So let's get started then.
A few moments later.
First part of the job is to stick this protection trim. I think one for here, and maybe one for here. I might not do that one yet until I replace the seals, because then I can take it off and clean it up and stick it back on and then re-put on the seals. So we'll do the second one a bit later. First thing I need to do is to ensure that I clean this. So I've got some soapy water, clean it properly, and then have some wax and grease remover, again clean it properly, so I can stick the trim, and hopefully that will stay on. Okay, my impression is the middle seems to stick quite well. I closed the boot and opened the boot and it fits fine. The side is a little bit not really sticking on too well, like on this side and that side. But considering the cost, I think I bought the pair for $30-40. It's nothing to complain. It's stainless steel. It's pretty well made. If it comes loose, we can always replace the double-sided tape here, or maybe there, or maybe replace the entire strip. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll see. Definitely I'll put on quite a bit of scratches here and there when we move things in and out of the boot.
A few moments later.
Next step I'm going to do is to test fit this trunk floor panel onto here. Take out the woofer unit from my old subwoofer and try to test fit and see if I can, would there be enough space to bolt it from the bottom, and then we'll decide the next step. So I took out one of the woofer units from a sub. It has quite a deep magnet assembly in the back. So the only space that I think I can mount it is at the front corner here of the trunk, So if I, well, you might argue, why don't I mount these subwoofer, the woofers on the top of the, cut a hole and then mount it on the top of the trunk floor? Because we use it for, you know, it's a family car, so we often put things in the back, and I don't want to sacrifice space in the boot. And then you can argue that, oh well, then you have the subwoofer and covered by the panel and the sound wouldn't come through. Yes, but don't forget the original, if it's an original woofer, it will be inside there anyway, so the bass would actually sort of like, if the frequency is low enough, it should pass through. It's not ideal, but we got to balance out, you know, the usability and also, you know, what is going to be the performance of the sound. So I think my plan is I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here. I'm going to use some NDFs to cut a ring, so it doesn't, so when the panel is put on, it wouldn't stop the comb from, the speaker comb from moving up and down. So I have to make myself a bit of a spacer, and then try to bolt it onto the bottom, and see if it works. Right, here we go. I've got the spacers cut. I'm going to test fit it again. I think it will need to be squashed down a little bit, but it should be fine. Yeah, let's give it a try before I mount it onto the bottom of the panel. It should be fine after my test fit. I'm going to find a way to mount the woofer onto the bottom of the panel. So I've just measured the distance from the edge, 10 centimeters, and that's about 4. That's probably about right. 4. We can move it out a little bit. That should be 10. Fine. Let's give it a try. Yeah, about 9 on that side. So if I move it to out a little bit. Let's do it again. Yeah, we'll say 9 and 9.5 and 4. 9.5 and 4. Okay, 9.5 and 4, that's what I need. So I flipped the panel and moved the woofer into position, so there are 9 centimeters, 9.5 on that side and 4 around that side. And I need to find the right length of screw. Don't forget the panel here is not very thick, so I need to find a screw to be able to just long enough to protrude into the panel but not poking through it. Alright, so let me measure here. That is about 20 mil, so most likely I would need either 25 or 30 millimeter long wood screws. Okay, this seems to be mounted very well, very solid. I'm going to flip the panel and just test fit it again, so ensure that it sits properly, and then I'm going to starting to remove the right hand side, the covers and everything. Yeah, and then we'll do the VCM battery and the wiring and everything else as well. Okay, plan is I'm going to take this off. I think I need to take this plastic off. Got a couple of bolts here. Bolt there. I don't know how to take that off. Maybe there's a clip, and maybe there's a bolt as well underneath there. We'll have to give it a try. I can see this side panel is tucking underneath here where there is a airbag on the back pillar. So for safety reasons, I think I'm just going to undo the ground terminal on the battery so the airbag wouldn't be triggered, and I'll carry on with my work. Okay, I took this off, and I found a broken blue clip here. I think it's not, I don't think I broke it. It probably was broken before, and maybe someone did a repair job or whatever. Don't know if I can actually find a replacement. We'll see. Probably not easy to find a part number. We'll see if it generates any noise a bit later. Okay, very interesting. This is still core of VCM unit, 31676392. But when I open it up, first I did not notice there is a lead, as of I can find on the web. You know, a lot of other people, they have to open the lead and replace the battery here. I don't have one. And when I try to unscrew and have a look inside, there's no battery. So I might have a model that don't require battery replacement. So a bit of a waste on doing the job, but right, okay. One thing less to worry about then. I'll bolt it back. Okay, another problem I have is I thought, although my car didn't come with a subwoofer, there should be wiring here, but I couldn't find the wiring for a subwoofer. This is where the original subwoofer will be sitting. And I can't find a specific plug for the subwoofer. It should be somewhere around here. There's just no spare plug. So I might have to think about, I will have to do a little bit more research and see if I can run a wire directly from the end from the front. Alright, we'll see. The rest of today's job, I think what I need to do is I just replace the seals, because it's got a crack here. I might need to unbolt this hinge clip, whatever you call it. And I'll see what I can do. I'll pull that one out and see how I'm gonna fit the new one in. So I'm in the middle of replacing the seals. I just want to ensure that I do a proper job. So I took part of the old seals out and I just follow the same orientation and then ensure the split line is aligning with the lock here, and then start going around and then finish it off. Alright, this is the other part of the protection trim that I can stick on. Anyway, I bought it, so might as well just use it. See how it goes. The inside one seems to be fit better than the outside one, you can see, as I explained before. Very solid, stainless steel, so yeah, happy about it.
A few moments later.
Okay, after a couple of times I try to close the boot. If I stick on the inner protection guard, it wouldn't close properly, so I've got to pull that out and only leave the outside ones there.